far as usually the way you diversify, you look at your assets. What are your assets in the country? Every country has its own assets, and you build on the assets you have. In Oman, probably IT seems to be quite big with the youth generation. So, looking at IT, how to improve the livelihood of people, usually research and technologies and all these. Startups usually they represent about 60% of the wealth of a country in most countries. Usually, if a startup can reach that level, the country will succeed. Any country who is well below 60% of startups, what I call startup is mom and pop business like or small companies. So it's very important to have you have to rely on a high number of startups to keep the economy going. So IT would be a big one. You look at, for example, what's coming in the future, which is kind of future technology, the fourth, what they call it, the fourth industrial revolutions and all that. All this is based on a lot of IT, especially, and especially it's the artificial intelligence part of it. That for a country to succeed and be able to survive, they need to spend a lot of time, a lot of momentum, a lot of education to their kid to be able to overcome that generation. We have to get out from the old teaching ways. A very interesting way, if somebody asked me 30 years ago, how can I predict the future? I would have never been able to predict it because Google did not exist then. And Google is what dominates the market today. So it turned out that kids that are at home today, very likely by the time they are at work, they are working on something they have never read about. So so what you need is teaching people, give them the tool, especially in the cognitive. The cognitive industry tend to be taken over, which is the AI and all this, and that is a big area that people have to focus on. The second area, which is for the sake of a country, is the security. The security of the data you have to deal with. That's, if you don't protect yourself, you're going to be just ruined. We are not teaching we still rely on the old fashion of teaching. And the big change I see is we are not teaching kids logic. Logic needs to be taught at a very early level if we want to survive. Logic is probably one of the biggest things you have to look at it. And we have to start it at a low level.